Hey, welcome to the Urban Schoolhouse, where school is cool. I'm Ebony Weisinger,
And I'm Chelsea Weisinger.
and today we are going to be discussing bullying. As you may or may not know, October is the anti bullying month for schools. And so that's why we're going to cover this topic today and hopefully help you guys learn more about bullying and just learn what Chelsea and I believe should be done in this case. So, as we begin today, I just want to go over the actual definition of bullying that we have here. And obviously, this won't be every part of the bullying, but it sums it up pretty well. So, bullying is repeated, and I stress repeated, intentional, and I stress intentional, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived imbalance of power, causing harm or distress to the target. It can be physical, like hitting or kicking. It can be verbal, name calling or threats, or social, spreading rumors and exclusion, and includes online forms like cyberbullying. So, it's some elements of bullying that we'll probably speak about in this episode: intentional harm, power imbalance, and repetition, the types of bullying: physical, verbal, social slash relational, and then a little cyberbullying. All right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. That's what we're going to be talking about. So, Chelsea, what you think about the bullying that we're going to be talking about today?
I think it's a very important topic, and I think um, with the rise of social media and the rise of technology, everything like that, um, that's literally a whole new form of bullying that is fairly new. And the fact that people can do things anonymously, um, when things are on the internet, they can be there forever. Like, you don't know, like, you never, when you post anything on social media, you don't know, you can't control who it's going to reach.
Right.
Um, and a lot of kids don't really understand that. Like, they don't understand the full implications of how bad that bullying and cyberbullying can truly get. Being at elementary school, I haven't seen consistent, like repetitive, intentional, someone being mean to someone else. I haven't seen that yet, to be honest with you. It'll be like one incident and then it kind of gets squashed, but I haven't seen like it's a really stretched out thing.
And what's your age group? Like, what's your grade?
K through 5.
K through 5. Okay. So that's from like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, when I worked in elementary, I saw intentional bullying. Coming from girls and boys, unfortunately. I don't know if it's because of where our building was situated, but yeah, our kids were kind of rough in terms of bullying. I got bullying complaints quite a lot at that school. And the kids like to do the 30-second fight. What's that called?
30.
Go 30. They taught me that. I ain't even
But is
know
that
what go 30
bullying?
meant.
I don't think that's bullying. Like, were they jumping someone, or was it a consensual fight?
So going 30 is consensual.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, unless you get beat down, I don't know.
They're still consensual. I mean, you wanted to fight, you should know how to fight.
Ooh. Well, okay, but
if you're gonna do it in school, at least know how to fight.
I don't like going 30. I'm just gonna put it on out there. Whose kids is out here going 30? That's what I want to know. If your kid's going 30 at school, you ain't doing it
there
right,
was
ma'am.
a cyberbullying case at my old school when I was in the 6th grade. That was a big cyberbullying thing going on. But it wasn't, well, yeah, going by that definition, it wasn't consistent, but when I was like about 11, 12 is when Instagram started becoming a really big thing. And people were making accounts, posting whatever, and people, someone to this day, I don't know who, but made a hate account for another student, just talking about how much they didn't like the student and things that they didn't like about her. And that was a really big deal.
Yeah.
So that was like when it first came out, and people didn't really know how to deal with those type of situations, I think.
We
Honestly,
still don't fully know.
no, honestly though, and like I don't even really see kids at my job with phones. Like I've never seen cell phones.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay, y'all on the island. Well, I am very familiar with the cell phones from second, third, fourth, fifth graders. So, yeah.
Second grade is kind of crazy.
We didn't have too many fights though, but there was a lot of girl chatter about other girls and boys getting relatively aggressive when it came to sports.
And I think, and that's all model behavior. I mean,
Let's get to it.
Like the title.
Now she about to get to it.
No, because the title of this episode is "Who's raising the bullies?"
That's what we want to know. Are you raising a bully, ma'am, sir, bro, sis?
And even if it's unintentional modeling, like emphasized in other episodes that kids pick up on everything that you do. So even if it's unintentional, they're going to pick up on it and they're going to try to mimic what you do. So even if you're talking on the phone with your friend and talking about another person, whatever you're saying, they're probably going to repeat it, to be honest with you. And whenever you hear a kid say something outlandish or a student say anything outlandish, you can pretty much just say, okay, well, they heard that at home or they heard that somewhere else. Because you could tell when a kid is saying like an adult thought and they don't fully understand what it means.
Yeah, totally. You know what? I hope I don't make y'all parents out there mad, but I definitely feel like it comes from the home, especially in elementary school. Like, where else would it come from? Where else has the
or
child
media?
been?
I mean, like, are you monitoring what
they're watching,
what they're
listening to,
what they're listening to, what they're consuming?
Yeah,
that definitely could be another thing too.
Yeah, and then even the video games, they killing each other on video games. And they cussing video games.
I had a student today. He's in second grade talking about he has a Freddy Krueger costume for Halloween.
Now why?
And if you don't know, Freddy Krueger is as in a horror movie.
He's a killer, he kills people.
And he kills people.
Yeah, with a
so why is the second? Yeah, so why is a second grader talking about I'm gonna be Freddy Krueger for Halloween? What happened to being like? Why can't you be like Bully? Why can't you? Why can't you be like Spider-Man?
So I implore you all to understand that basically what we saying is the bullies is coming out your households, and the bullies are growing up watching other people bully, not necessarily their parents. It could be their siblings. It could be their aunts and uncles, depending on the family dynamic, right? But one thing I know for sure, I have heard over my career so many parents threaten their kids, like to beat their arse or to slap them. Shut up before I slap you. Ma'am, that's bullying. Because there's an imbalance of what? Power. An imbalance of power is the bully has more power, either real or perceived. So, than the target, of course. Making it difficult for the target to actually defend themselves. So when your mama cussing you out, what you gonna do? Right. Nothing. You're gonna listen. You're gonna take it. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna take that anger you feel and you're gonna go to school, and when somebody say something foul to you, what you gonna do? Threaten to slap them or actually slap them, or threaten to kick their arse or actually kick their arse, right? I mean, that is how bullies are bred. They're bred at home. This is my favorite one. I don't know where he got that from. That's my favorite one. What can you show me who knows where he got that from?
Mm-mm.
Who raising this child is my question. You know, we can't raise our children to be hurtful towards other people because just like Chelsea said, kids pick up the good and the bad that you do, not just the bad. She's saying they pick up the bad behavior. Yes, they do. But they also pick up good behavior. So, what that means is the kinder you are as a parent, the nicer you are as a parent, and the nicer you treat your friends. You're not on the phone gossiping about who said what and how it's going to be at work tomorrow because honestly, you sitting there raising your child to do the same thing at school.
I've seen also kids that like me as a student, me going to school. I've had friends that you could tell it's not really in their nature to be a bully, but they see people that like usually like stereotypically the more popular kids tend to be mean, tend to be kind of bullies. And so if a kid wants to be friends with them, then they'll start intentionally being mean when you can tell it's kind of unnatural for them.
For
Um,
acceptance.
for acceptance. So I think like apart from parents, it can be acceptance.
Mm-hmm. And then also, some parents threaten to kick ours, while other parents actually kick ours. Let's talk about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, how are you disciplining your kid? Are you disciplining your kid in a way where they actually understand what they did wrong and how they can improve? Like, do you give those examples or are you caught up in the anger of it all? Because if you are, as a parent, I suggest not disciplining your kids right away. You can discipline them once you are in a place of calmness and your headspace is better. Because I know I made a mistake in discipline Chelsea when my head was not in a calm place, and it at some points blew up in my face. So I just encourage parents to understand that it might not blow up in your face right then and there, but it will at some point if you keep on delivering negative discipline to your children. If you deliver positive discipline, then what you're doing is you're putting your child in a position to learn how to deal with conflict when they go to school. Because the conflict between the parent and the child is your opportunity to show your child how to deal with conflict. What you think, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I think that I feel like every single episode, the main point that we always drive home is that it does start at home.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything.
everything starts at home. Um, we talked about conflict resolution last time. Um, and then going back to what you were saying, like if a student is experiencing a pretty tumultuous home life where going back to power imbalance, where they feel powerless and where they feel like they have no voice. Usually, then when they go to school, they pick on someone who they know won't fight back,
Mm-hmm.
who they know won't talk back,
Yep.
um, so they can feel like, oh, I have the power for
Winner,
once.
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And you know what? Grown people do that too. Let's be clear. Sometimes women in very these relationships that make them feel very small. Sometimes they're not very nice women to other women. You know, I've seen that. So, you know, just try to understand that dynamic that you have with another person when there's aggression can be construed as bullying,
Yeah.
especially if it's repeated, if it's more than one time. And I used to always try to remind my students that the behavior has to be repeated, except for if it's a very egregious, like sometimes, like if a child cut your hair or something like that, that's still bullying, even only if it happens one time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So most bullying, I would say, is something that's repeated and repetitive, and that's my thing that I try to teach kids. Like if some one thing happens, please don't call that bullying.
Yeah. And then I know we mentioned this probably last episode, but your school definitely has a bullying policy.
Definitely. But
Definitely.
okay, let's talk about
The
that.
policy?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's zero tolerance for bullying. That's usually the policy.
Hmm.
So, to be honest, as a school personnel, I feel like that's impossible.
Yeah.
Even adults bully each other at work.
Yes.
So, how is it that kids are not going to bully? Bullying is a problem in our society. The head of our nation is bullies. So, unfortunately, that's what we are learning how to be vicariously through other people is, to be bullyish. And a lot of people are not teaching kindness. A lot of people are not preaching kindness. People just go out here and they live for themselves. They live their life like it's golden and they don't care about anybody else's. So I think as a parent, we need to really kind of pull that back in our kids and start asking them how they would deal with these things and having it as a
I think,
conversation.
uh, I don't know. I'm not a parent, but also I think it might just be easier to just teach your kid to be kind
Yeah.
and to respect everyone. You know, if you have a girl in your class with pink hair and your kid comes home and they're like, there's a girl in my class with pink hair, you should just say, whoa, that's good for her. Pink is a nice color. Doesn't matter. You know, it's like, I feel like it starts with like subtle conversations, or it could just have a big conversation. Like, when you go to school, you know, it's going to be kids that are different than you. They might be the same as you.
Yeah.
But, you know, no matter what, you have to treat everybody with kindness because you want to be treated with kindness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And everybody deserves respect,
yeah.
you know? So, I just really think that does start at home. And a lot of kids see a bunch of disrespect in their household.
I think some people also kind of feel like kids just automatically know some stuff. Like, I feel like people think, oh, every kid is nice, every kid automatically, like,
Mm-mm.
no, like, every little thing that you think you wouldn't have to teach,
You
you
do.
do.
Mm-hmm. I think people bypass this because they haven't got a good grasp on it for themselves,
Yeah.
quite frankly. Um,
Also, it's hard because if you're telling a kid to do something and they see that you don't do
right.
it,
Because
they'll call you out on
mothers set
it.
it off.
They'll call you out on
And these
it.
kids know their mothers to set it off because they say things like, I'm going to call my mother up here. And if I have to call my mother up here, then it's going to be a problem. Really? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like the kids feel that validation and that power from the thought of the aggressive nature that they know their mother possessed.
And they know that their parents gonna back them no matter what. I'm not saying don't defend your child, but
Know the story,
know the story,
the full story,
the full
not
story,
just your kid's version.
and your child still needs to be held accountable if accountability is necessary.
Yeah.
That's part of parenting. Your kid is always going to get it right. That's why you're there.
Right. Especially with teachers, because kids bully teachers too. Mm-hmm. So, especially as the older they get, they say more outlandish things to teachers. And then parents, sometimes they don't have a problem with it. You get that really good parent sometimes and they're against it. But usually when a parent is parenting, their kids don't behave that way. Just saying.
Mm.
Mm.
So, yeah, um, I just go off the premise of like, as a school social worker, I really truly emphasize kindness. Like, it's all over my office. I have shirts that talk about kindness that I wear because I feel like that's the root. And it's easier to teach a kid to be nice
Early in
than
age.
early in age. It's easier to teach them to be nice than to say stop being mean.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a middle school counselor, I'm always pushing keep your hands to yourself and pushing stop talking so much, because a lot of names are being called while kids are casually talking, and a lot of gossip goes down when kids are casually talking. They make it a point to talk about other people. It's like, talk about yourself. You got three people here, y'all talk about yourselves amongst each other. Why you talking about somebody that's not here? Why you name calling someone that's not here? So I hear a lot of that. And then I hear a lot of complaints from kids because of isolation. Nobody will talk to me. They all was my friend, but then they all stopped
Turned,
talking to
yeah.
me. Yeah. And that is like mean girl stuff that we as individual parents have to start teaching our girls and boys, that, imagine yourself being in that situation. We have to teach our kids empathy.
Yeah.
We have to teach our kids empathy. We have to say, imagine if that was you. How would you feel? Like, then you have to focus on kindness. You have to focus on keep your hands to yourself. You have to focus on say less. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not healthy for a child or student, should I say, to go through the schoolhouse saying what they please about people that comes back to you like karma in a rapid fashion in school. Then all the girls want to see you in the bathroom and all the boys want to see you outside. It's really what kids do to themselves. Some kids can go through school, the whole school, K through 12, matriculation, and not have one fight, not get into one beef, and not have any problems at school. And I'm not just bragging because Chelsea had problems at school. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but
I definitely had
she
beef.
definitely
I
had,
never, I never got in a fight.
but she never had it to where they was calling me. Okay, and so that's what I do all day long is see parents get called off their job because their kids don't know how to act. But yet the parent ain't teaching the kid how to act. And it's like, why are you mad? Because we keep calling you when you have this unruly child that is accosting other people, hitting them, talking about them, isolating them, and making them feel bad intentionally. And in some cases, cyberbullying as well. We deal with all that in middle school. I have seen kids do the most on the internet. And I agree with you. It's because it's anonymous or it's not face to face. So these people get the courage behind the web.
Twitter fingers. That's what it's called.
What
Twitter,
is it called?
Twitter fingers.
Twitter fingers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have seen, listen, it was funny and I laughed. But still, I have seen a whole sneak diss track appear on YouTube about a student. And yes,
that must have been really angry to sit down
big man
and make rhymes.
And she was
edit it and post it.
And she was on flow mode. She was like,
it was actually bars.
I'm like, okay, Glorilla. I mean, yeah, it was bars, and that's exactly what my principal said.
Wow.
But so they do this kind of stuff at their parents' house. They don't do this at school. So,
and also goes back to monitoring what your kid is doing.
Monitoring what your kid is doing is top tier.
I feel like, especially because my generation, as we grow up to be parents, I think because we grew up with the internet while it was still emerging, I think we'll do a pretty good job at monitoring our future kids because we know what it was like to be on the internet without supervision,
right?
And how crazy the internet can be. Mm-hmm. It's kind of off topic, but like, well, no, it's pretty much on topic. There used to be this app when I was in middle school called Kik, K-I-K.
I remember.
Yeah, it was like a texting. Oh yeah, but like it would get nasty on there. Like if going back to the beef, like this never happened to me personally, but if somebody or like a group didn't like you or whatever, they'll put you in a group chat for all of them and you and just go at you.
Yeah, that's how they still doing it.
Yeah,
they still do it just like that. And then they bring the group chats that they do at their mama house and their daddy house, and they bring it to school and make it to schoolhouse business. But I'm gonna be honest, I avoid that kind of drama because I feel like if it didn't go on here, then well, I don't know. Don't feel that way. Well, people feel like if it got in the schoolhouse, then But
Yeah,
it started at your house though.
I think I agree
Take
with
that
it though.
home.
No, I think I agree with that though
Oh, that's
because
true. I mean, I see why they
it's
deal with
gonna
it.
impact them in school, and school is the only place where they're actually probably together in person. So it's probably more tension at school than at home. I mean,
But it's things that
they're
was done
middle
in the
school.
community. So go to the police.
Well, the
Don't come in
police
here
can't really
early in the
do
morning.
anything about
Well, we
it.
could choose not to do anything about it too, because it happened at your house.
But if it gets worse at school, then
Yeah,
what?
that's true. I mean, I'm not against administration dealing with it, but as for me, I try to stay away from it.
Need a counselor.
I know, but I'm just telling you, the thing about it to me is it's like almost criminal activity to me. I ain't gonna
It
lie.
depends on the extent of it, but it
I'm
can
telling you,
be.
I've seen it. I've
It
seen
can
it.
be, but not everything. But it can turn into actual criminal.
It does
Like for
sometimes
example,
because
I mean now
harassment is a thing.
harassment, or if it turns, but again, that means has to be a pattern.
Yes,
Same thing with
definitely.
stalking. Same thing. I mean now you can go to jail if you cyber bully someone and they commit suicide. Like now you can go to jail for that.
But you shouldn't even have to die for somebody to go to jail for that. Because now I'm dead. It don't matter that you're in jail. The thing about it is, to me, there should be
But I
more
think
criminal act. There should be more crime associated with that stuff. Because, like you said, it's Twitter fingers. It's I'm big and bad as long as I'm behind the screen. But okay, I'm just gonna leave that alone. Let me just say this one thing to you. Did you see that movie on Netflix where the mama was the one
yeah, and
who was
yeah.
behind the screen?
And it was what she gets, stalking and harassment. But and even the detective or whatever said if her daughter actually did commit suicide, she would have
Been
been
at fault.
gone, locked up.
She should be locked
I mean,
up.
she's like,
No matter what.
well, she was. I think she's out now.
Okay, so this happened right here in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where tell the story because I don't want to mess it up. What happened to that little girl?
Yeah, it was like what, like a ninth grader, like an eighth grader.
Mm-hmm.
She started getting anonymous, like crazy,
Threats
insane anonymous messages, very inappropriate for a
and very
14-year
regular.
old. Like every day it would be like multiple. And then her boyfriend was getting them too. Then it became a school issue. They went to the school because at first, again, going back to school, the parents were thinking like, is it a kid that doesn't like her? Went through people who didn't like her. Like try to find a motive behind it. They always came up short, and it got this went on for what,
Years.
2 years?
Yeah.
To the point where an FBI agent, had to get involved and track down the numbers and the whatever. Figured out it was her mom.
Her mother, her real mom, not her stepmom. Mm-hmm. Her real mom. And she watched her daughter suffer in that way for 2 whole years straight. Now, what type of abuse is that?
I agree with what the principal said. That he said it seemed like some type of like Munchausen type situation.
Yeah.
But where like she wanted her daughter to need her.
But you know what? That another point came up out of that, which was no cell phones at school. Remember that point? Mm-hmm. I don't know. They started talking about it. But guess who shot that down? It's parents. Parents want their kids to have cell phones at school so bad. Oh, they don't want them to keep.
And nothing good comes
from the cell phones because that's the reason. That's another reason why I stay out of it too. I hate to go back to it because I left it, but I'm just trying to let you know I'm not feeling that because I feel like why should I have to make that my deal when your mom is furnishing this phone, your mom is not monitoring you on this phone, your mom has not taught you kindness, your mom, I'm saying mom, but I'm just gonna say parents because sometimes it's dads,
parent, caregiver,
guardian, whoever is raising you is allowing you to handle yourself in this manner. No matter what I say or do, until this individual who is supposed to be in charge of you gets you under control, what am I? I'm just a counselor at school. And I'm not saying like I have no power to help kids. I do. But it's so hard to help a student when a parent is working against you.
Yeah.
when their parent, excuse me, is continuing to put that child in an environment where they see a bunch of beef, they see a bunch of arguing. I have had elementary school kids that have actually seen a shooting of their parent. Yes. So kids have to go through so much and see so much. So why not monitor their internet access, what you can control?
Control.
Why not monitor what they see on TV, what music they listen to? Let me tell you, when what time, how old were you when you got the chance to listen to regular radio?
Honestly, probably like middle school,
Yeah, because we used to listen to
sixth grade, sixth, seventh grade.
Kids Bop in the car with her when she was a child, just so she wouldn't pick up the negativity.
But I think that's another thing. I feel like especially with the black community, I feel like sheltering your kid is kind of frowned upon. Like we want our kid to be exposed to way too much, way too early, just because they need to know, they need to be hit, they need to know they don't. They're
No,
children.
right.
They're
It's
still
just the
children.
same way we
Even
dress them,
even though
though.
they're black, yes, but I think especially because they're black,
Amen.
they need to have their innocence as
Preserved.
long as humanly possible.
Preserve it.
They had their whole life to figure out and learn about the struggles that comes with being a black person in this country.
Indeed.
They had the whole life for that. When you can protect them when they're small and when, like literally, I don't even think I knew what racism was until like high school. To be honest with you, like I mean, I was experiencing it, but
I
I
wish I
didn't.
had taught you about it
But
more.
I didn't have an yeah, but like I didn't know like the name of it. I didn't
Yeah,
know
you
what
know
to
how it
call
felt
it.
though.
Yeah, I knew what I yeah. I didn't know like the name for it.
Yeah.
But like still, I think it's opposite because it's like why are we exposing our kids to so much trauma and so many like age inappropriate things so early
And we don't talk to
like
them
it's a
about
rite
none
of
of it.
passage.
But
Like no, it's
we don't
not.
teach them about it. We just let them see it.
And then move on
Yeah, they go
and
to
let
R-rated
them
movies. They just figure it out themselves.
and the rap and like the music that they listen to like no, I'm sorry. I don't students shouldn't be
Yeah, it's very
listening.
violent, and it's violent towards women. A lot of rap is, too, in my
It's like about nothing good. Like you could like you have the opportunity to fill a kid's mind with so much greatness and then but also I mean maybe it's just because that's how their parents grew up too and they don't understand what's wrong with that.
No, they don't.
Well, I grew
And
up
fighting
like
is normal in some households. Did you know that?
yeah.
Like, if I was a parent of multiples, which I only have the one, I would never let my kids fight each other.
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, I know. And they think that it's good making their sibling tough.
I okay. I think we're gonna touch on that in the next episode, but it's like again, I think that goes back to why are we purposefully traumatizing our children as a rite of passage, or think that they have to be tough, or think they have to be
Too grown.
too
Too
grown.
soon.
Like, but your black children be black
Children.
children.
Amen. Let them be black children and be happy, not
And
worried,
expose them to
traumatized black
great
children.
things.
Like what? What's great? What's great?
Like I've had kids like I mean at my church. My church is in like the middle of a neighborhood. But anyway, so I have had kids come in. We did like a kids night over the summer, and I've had kids. And mind you, we live in Michigan. We're surrounded by lakes. We're surrounded by water, the Great Lakes state. And these kids have never seen water, like big bodies of water. You know, never been to a beach, never done anything. Never been to a museum. And if you're in Michigan, most museums that are around in downtown Detroit or whatever, they're free.
Well, if I couldn't go to the beach, I'd probably be a bully too.
You know, it's just simple stuff like that. Or it seems simple, but a lot of kids aren't exposed to a lot at
One thing I
all.
want to say is this before we end our podcast. One thing that I always tell students when they tell me that they're being bullied, I tell them in order to help empower them, call a bully out by doing certain things like agreeing with the bully,
Yeah, throw them off.
Throw them
Reverse
off.
psychology.
Yes, like how do I get past this bullying situation?
Because the whole point, they're getting off on the fact
that you're mad.
That you're mad. That they have more power than
over you. Yeah.
Even in conversations, like when people think that they're like talking down to me, I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Right, I do that too.
I agree.
I agree.
You
really
you.
Literally steal someone's thunder.
You can literally
say that you agree.
You can literally see their brain short circuiting when you do that.
So when I'm calling you 4 eyes or whatever, you're like,
yeah,
it's pretty much 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah.
You know what I love doing when someone's like really like just going at it, or they're just really doing too much. I'm always like, are you okay?
Right.
And they always stop.
All of that is a form of trying, like calling them out. Mm-hmm. It's like, or I have done, when someone treats me bad, I'll say, are you trying to hurt me? You know, like, why would you ever try to hurt me?
Or make them like over explain. Because sometimes people like doing like one-liners and then leaving it at that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, what do you mean by that? And they're like, oh,
I just wanted to be mean.
like they didn't think that far ahead.
And one thing I realized too, when you're dealing with people who have that nature, when you don't try to fight them back, that catches them off guard.
Yeah,
well. Like,
because they want to fight. They
fight.
Need the attention.
Yeah,
they need the power.
Yes.
So when you don't give in, they're like, okay, well, this isn't fun anymore.
Right. Exactly. Oh, but what I wanted to say about policy is that we can't keep kids from bullying each other. And I don't like to tell parents that.
Because bullying was a thing. Bullying was a thing before phones were invented. It was different, but bullying was always a thing.
People cannot keep other people from bullying other people. Mark that down. Write it down. It's just fact. We can educate. We could try to convince that this is not the way to go. But bullying is never going to go anywhere. It's been around forever because of the way we raise our kids.
Yeah, it's just human nature. Every human wants power.
So you have to teach your kid that it's not their job to exert power over other people.
Yeah.
And they become adults who do that. And that's how come I say they won't end until the adults do something about it.
Yeah, true. All right.
Whew. Well, that was a good discussion.
So this wraps up the first episode of our Bullying Prevention Month series in the month of October. Please stay tuned for next week. So I believe that's October 12th, where the next episode will be dropping. We're talking about the famous, infamous quotes, if they hit you, hit them back. And our thoughts on that.
Okay. So, and what about Instagram? We need some followers.
Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Urban Schoolhouse Podcast.
At Urban Schoolhouse Podcast. All 3 platforms.
Yes. So please tune in, and thank you for tuning in to the Urban Schoolhouse,
where school is cool. You are dismissed.